Hello Internet, I am the Hero of Julius once again with another One Piece chapter summary. This week's chapter is chapter 1017, The Order. And our artwork for this week is a artwork of Buggy the Clown and a chimpanzee. The chimpanzee is putting Buggy together like a big puzzle. It's just another cute little artwork. It's been a bit since we've had a cover art story, and at this point, I just, I'm sticking to my Katakuri theory. Day something of asking for Katakuri. But without further ado, let's get into the actual chapter itself. So this week's chapter starts with Queen at the, down in the festival hall, looking over at Tama, who was just about to make a command, but Queen startled her and caused her to topple over for a minute. And this sort of causes a bit of hesitation. So the official order hasn't been given out yet from Tama. We can see the problem with this hesitation as Jinbei, Frankie, and Inuarashi are all fighting these very difficult battles as more and more enemies start to swarm from around, including the traders of the Beast Pirates being taken down by gifters, all the guys that decided to help Chopper because Queen deemed them useless after the smiles were gone. And because of this, things are again looking bleak. That seems to be the theme of what's going on right now in our current chapters is more and more the enemy forces are starting to win. However, as Queen is about to finish off Tama with a blast from his big old mouth, Sanji kicks him square in the neck and causes the beam to go off elsewhere, and Queen turns to look at Sanji and says, "Oh, it's you again, Judge's son." And Sanji says, "Don't ever call me by that name, but I'm going to take a guess you're a part of that weird science group that my dad was in." And Queen goes, "Oh, are you talking about Mads? Well, that was a very long time ago. As you can see now, I am a mighty cyborg." And we see Queen's full-on half-human, half-dinosaur form. This is his hybrid form with a cool little like gun for an arm, and his ponytail and his regular tail have Doc Ock claws coming off of them, and you can see that he is a walking nuclear warhead of death. I'm getting really strong Metal Greymon vibes here. I know I've recently been doing some Digimon videos, so that may be where I'm starting to make a connection, but it does look super cool. And we get our first little bit of lore drop here. What I like about this chapter is, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting a lot of questions answered here. For example, the theory that Judge, Queen, and Vegapunk were all part of the same group, that is confirmed. Well, unless... No, yeah, Judge ran with Vegapunk, and now we know that Queen ran with Judge. So, MADS, we don't know what that stands for, but it's safe to assume that it probably stands for something like SAD. It's a group of mad scientists who a long time ago were working together doing something, something with how your bloodline and your DNA and how devil fruits work potentially, knowing Vegapunk's research. So it seems that we may get a Queen flashback, or this will all be explained when Vegapunk finally enters the story. Either way, buckle yourselves in, because there's definitely going to be more than just these three dudes if they had a big enough group to warrant giving their group a name. However, thanks to this momentary lapse, Tama is able to get back up, and she lets out her command to all the gifters around, and the tide starts turning again. We know there's roughly 500 gifters, so Kaido's forces just lost 500, Luffy's forces just gained 500. This is a 1,000 point shift. Granted, numbers are still on their side, but with the gifters switching over, this is now a quality over quantity thing. I mean, granted, we already had high quality pieces like Luffy and Zoro, but now even in the grunt section, because no offense to the samurai, but there's a lot of waiters and pleasurers. So having these gifters is definitely the shift in battle that we needed. Meanwhile, in this same area, we finally see the side effects of the new advanced Rumble Ball, and it is way more adorable than I thought it was going to be. So personally, I thought Chopper's Rumble Ball side effect was going to be like permanent monster point where he's just stuck like that forever. And who knows, maybe that is a potential side effect still. I mean, Caesar did say side effects with an S, so who knows what other possible things can happen, but this this is adorable. So Chopper, after Monster Point for 30 minutes, he shrinks down to this like baby old man form. Still cute in the face, but I can't even see his limbs in the artwork. I'm assuming he has them, but it is just like when Ennis Lobby finished and we see, Robin holding Chopper as he's doctoring everyone. This time it's the mink doctors helping him by holding him up and administering things. And apparently, according to Chopper, Zoe, the doctors of Zoe, had this experimental, like, super healing drug that will just pop Zoro right back up into place. And Miyagi warns him that, well, hang on, Dr. Chopper, this, when the effects wear off, yes, he'll be healed, but he's going to take twice as much pain when they're all done. And of course, being Zoro just responds with, no, just hit me. I don't care what happens to me after. I have to be fighting right now. And while we have seen this before in the past with Luffy taking in all those the energy hormones from Ivankov, I was kind of hoping Zoro was done. He did a huge number on Kaido. He did his part. And while I am looking forward to seeing Zoro fight, I'm kind of hoping we see Marco versus King instead of Zoro. I'm hoping maybe Zoro teams up with Orochi. My personal theory is that Orochi is going to face off against Momonosuke, Zoro, and Kinemon. And the reason for this is Momonosuke needs this like cinematic big fight kind of thing to, establish himself as the future shogun. And then Kinemon and Zoro, having suffered grievous wounds from Kaido, and in Zoro's case, Kaido and Big Mom, they need to be fighting something that is a fair fight for their currently nerfed bodies, in my opinion. But whether this happens or not, I assume we're probably going to end up with Zoro versus King. That's the more likely scenario. But I would love to see Momonosuke versus Orochi regardless. Finally, and this is the meat and potatoes of this chapter, this is where questions get answered, but also new questions get made, which are my favorite chapters in One Piece. We go back to Jinbei's fight with Who's Who, as Who's Who kind of goes off on Jinbei with this blade pistol attack, and then he's got this fang pistol. He uses Tempest Kick and Iron Body, and Jinbei, along with us, the audience, is like, "Hey, those are world government techniques. You're one of those guys, aren't you?" And he goes, "Yeah, I went to jail for a while." And Jinbei was like, "Oh, I heard about a rogue member of CP9 12 years ago," which apparently was low-key news, according to Who's Who. But apparently Who's Who was like Rob Lucci's rival, which I think is really cool because you got the leopard and then you got the saber-toothed tiger. But more important than that, he had his own unique versions of the 6 powers, and just like Rob Lucci, these guys are a cut above. While Rob Lucci went on to a life of CP0, and during his time in CP9, just super powerful, Who's Who went underground. And we don't know, maybe Who's Who has a real name that he's going to reveal later, but it's the reason Who's Who went to prison. It's the reason that Who's Who hates the Straw Hat crew. He tells Jinbei, "You say you're a proud member of the Straw Hat crew, but let me tell you something. 12 years ago, I was supposed to be guarding something. 2 years ago, I find out about this upstart brat Straw Hat Luffy who ate the gum-gum fruit that I was guarding." And Jinbei just stands there in shock. And this raises so many theories. This, is going to fuel fire for so many theories. Why was the gum-gum fruit so important that the world government had to protect it. And is this gum gum fruit, it is the gum gum fruit, but is this the same ship that Shanks and his crew stole the gum gum fruit from? Or were they like the third person in possession of it? There's a reason the world government wants to protect the gum gum fruit. There's also a reason that Shanks, Whitebeard, Big Mom, you know, these people all acknowledge that Luffy wears the straw hat. Some acknowledge it because it used to be Shanks, others acknowledge it because it used to be Rogers, like Rayleigh. But none of them talk about the gum gum fruit as if it belonged to someone. So theories that it could have been Rogers' fruit or that it's the Beck's fruit, I kind of doubt those. But, and this is my theory, I want to put this on the table. What if Joy Boy ate the gum gum fruit? And maybe Eam is some immortal being, maybe Eam is a descendant of whoever Joy Boy fought against, but what if Joy Boy, with the power of the gum gum fruit and a straw hat, challenged the world government as it was being formed? And that is why the world government fears the gum gum fruit and they don't want it, back in circulation. We've never seen the five elders talk about the gum gum fruit, but we have heard them talk to Shanks about a certain pirate. We've heard them talk to Eam about what light needs to be snuffed out. We know that Eam has a vendetta against Luffy and against Blackbeard and possibly against Shirahoshi, because I'm going to guess because Ancient Weapon, and held a picture of Vivi. No destruction there. But I'm putting this down as my theory. Joy Boy ate the gum gum fruit. Joy Boy did something during the Void Century that made the world government fear the gum gum fruit specifically. And it's because of that Luffy is a big priority in their eyes. Or at least he is now. But who knows? Maybe it's something completely different. Maybe the gum gum fruit was the fruit that Eam wanted to eat, and that's the whole reason why they were protecting it and shipping it over to him. And maybe Shanks isn't the one who stole it from the world government. Maybe some other pirate did, and Shanks just took it from them. But that's for the next chapter. No break next week, so we have that to look forward to. Hopefully there's an explanation during that chapter about who's who, a little more about his past, and maybe we'll cut back to Black Maria's fight with Robin, maybe? We haven't seen them in a while. But as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.